In yet another example of how Donald Trump will say anything in order to rile up his base, today his campaign sent out an email blast with the headline, "Haul out the guillotine." Trump's email is a rather amateurish looking fundraising appeal from a man who seems to be always asking for money from his supporters, despite at one time bragging that he didn't need anyone's money.
Because I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I don't need anybody's money. I'm using my own money. I'm not using the lobbyists. I'm not using donors. I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
Trump's fundraising email reads, "Remember when that sicko, Kathy Griffin, made the rounds parading my beheaded head when I was president? The radical left cheered. Obama and Biden were silent, and the fake news blasted it everywhere." It then goes on to say, "The sad and horrific truth is that this is still the sick dream of every Trump deranged lunatic out there. And it's not just me they want going, they're really coming after you. Sick, sick, sick." Now, I'm not sure why Trump is referencing Kathy Griffin now, as it's been over 7 years since she pulled that little stunt of hers. And I think we're all pretty familiar with it, so I'm not going to post that picture here. But it definitely was a sick and reprehensible joke of hers, and Griffin did pay a steep price for it, which she should have. She was banned on numerous talk shows and lost quite a few TV gigs because of it, again, as she should have. But I don't remember a lot of cheering on the left at the time. Of course, I'm sure some people loved it, but her posing with what was supposed to be the decapitated head of Trump was universally criticized, as far as what I remember. People were sickened by it on both the left and the right. But while the text of the email is filled with the usual Trump hyperbole in order to rile up his hardcore supporters, what is most disturbing is the headline of "Haul out the guillotine." On the surface, this appears to be a reference to the so-called Trump deranged lunatics who still want to see him beheaded, and by extension, want to see all of his supporters beheaded, since Trump often claims they're really after them and he's only in the way. But there's a more subtle message here as well, in that there seems to be a suggestion that Trump's own supporters should support hauling out the guillotines because those who are coming after him are sick and deranged, and of course they must be stopped by Trump himself. As I've spoken about numerous times, there is this constant drone on the far right that many who have opposed Trump have committed treason, and both they and Trump have spoken about what should happen to those who commit treason. Haul out the guillotine, indeed. On another note, in recent weeks, Trump has been posting on Truth Social about a website called Trump Force 47, which seeks to sign people up to volunteer for Trump, with options such as hosting a Trump house party and becoming a Trump captain, whatever that is. But it really is just another way to get your contact information and send you out email blasts asking for money, because if there's one thing that Trump does more than anything else, it's beg his supporters for money. But this focus on Trump Force 47, just like his previous idea for Space Force, reminds me of Daniel 11:38's reference to a god of forces and how the Antichrist will honor him in his estate with gold and silver and precious stones. Now that sounds a lot like Trump's penthouse, in my opinion. Finally, in yesterday's video, I had an image of 3 45 flags hanging at a rally. This image was photoshopped by me and was based on a very famous image from World War II, which you can see on the screen now. That picture was from the Reich Party Congress in Nuremberg, Germany during 1938, and is one of many iconic pictures from that time that demonstrate the pure craziness of things in Germany back then. Now, unfortunately, I made the mistake of assuming that everyone watching the video would recognize my photoshopped image as being taken from that famous picture, but that was not the case. Some people wondered if that was from an actual Trump rally. So I do apologize for not making that more clear in the video itself. For those of you who did not immediately recognize that image, there's a couple of good online archives which have pictures from that era of our history, and it's worth looking at. But here's why I used that image. Nearly 90 years ago, there was a slogan in Nazi Germany during Hitler's reign, which said, "Hitler is Germany, and Germany is Hitler." The Führer was synonymous with his country, and his supporters would praise him and elevate his name above all others. This same thing is coming to America. Trump is widely seen on the far right as being the personification of truth, justice, and the American way. To them, Trump is America, and America is Trump. Right now, history is repeating itself, and we simply have to open our eyes to see what is coming.